Hey guys, so tonight, by the way, this is Azreal. Hi guys, how are you doing? Tonight we're going to be making some macaroni and cheese from scratch. No sponsors. Anyway, it's not going to be just any macaroni and cheese. It's going to be buffalo chicken mac and cheese. So, to start off, you're going to need about a pound of macaroni. Whoops, that's not boiling. You can use pretty much anything. There's Radiatori is one of my favorites for anything that has a thick cheesy sauce. You can use the spiral noodles, you can use bow ties, shells, you can use whatever you want. Heck, you can use the long noodles if you want. Long pasta, like spaghetti. So what you gotta do, you gotta get a pot of water on, add a bunch of salt so that it tastes salty. So you get that on, you get that going, you get that hot. And you get your crispy chicken. I cheated and went with store-bought, so at some point I will do my own. Actually, I did breaded chicken the other day. You can use that recipe if you want, honestly. Just leave out the Parmesan cheese. Yeah. With all of this, we're also going to be having some roasted Brussels sprouts, which are in the oven right now. Oven at 350. The Brussels sprouts have been coated and tossed with olive oil, salt, pepper, and a little bit of garlic. And then just plopped on a tray and tossed right in the 350-degree oven for, check it after 20, and then however done you want them to look, every 5 minutes. So mine are in the oven now, and I don't have a timer because I'll just be sitting here cooking and checking anyway. I'm going to start the water on high. This is hot chicken. I'm going to cube this up and toss it with some buffalo sauce. So, once this starts boiling, I will toss the pasta in. I'm going to get this other, see this over here? I'm going to start getting that heated up. Whoop! Come on, professionalism. Dang it. I'm going to get that heated up so that I can, whoa, camera falling, camera fails. So that I can get my cheese sauce going. Really? Alright, so water boiling, butter melting. This is how we're going to start our sauce. We're going to start off with a roux. Now, to do a roux, you need to have equal parts butter and flour. Let the butter melt. I'm going to use about a couple tablespoons of each, and we'll get to that, back to that in a second. So, with the water boiling, you now just add your pasta and mix at the same time, because if you don't, your pasta could come up sticking together. And then you get chunks of pasta, and that's no good. That's no good. You could also add a little bit of oil if you want. That helps keep it from sticking. Then again, that might be old wives' tale, so add it. Don't find out if it works. I don't know. That's up to you. So now we've got the pasta on the boil. Our butter melting. We're going to cube up the chicken. I'm an idiot. I forgot to grab my knife. Do not ever do what I'm doing, which is... that is a horrible idea. Always use a cutting board. If my Professor could see me now doing what I'm doing at the moment, he'd kill me. My wife will kill me as soon as she sees this video. I love you, hun. Butter's getting nice and melty. I can hear it gurgling. My little brother is Facebook messaging me. Come on now. About my other videos. And he's learning workout stuff from me, which is awesome. So like I said, cube this up. Not really cubes, it's just chunks, you know? Make it nice chunks. Aha. There we go. And then we're going to just rip it. Forget it. There we go. Aha. Do that. Butter is melted. Now that the butter is melted, we're going to add the flour, and we're just going to cook it down. There's two different types of roux. You've got your light roux and you've got your dark roux. Mix that up. Boom, boom, boom. This looks like a dark roux off the bat. It is not. This is a light roux. I'm just using a whole wheat flour. If I was using a white flour, this would definitely be lighter. Now you can let it sit here, mix it every once in a while so it doesn't stick to the bottom, and depending on how dark you want it, that's how long you let it cook. You definitely have to wait until the flour taste is gone, otherwise it's going to mar the flavor of your mac and cheese. I'm periodically blowing on this so that, you know what, do this, it actually helps and makes the bubbles not go over the edge. La da da. So this still smells like flour, so I'm not going to add my milk to it yet. So we're just going to let it sit like this for a second. Don't forget to continue stirring the pasta. If you don't stir the pasta, it will stick to the bottom, it will stick to each other. Bad, 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 you know, the usual. So mix periodically so that it doesn't all just get stuck and gross. Like that. So now my roux no longer smells like flour. I'm going to start adding my milk to it. You want to add your milk slowly. If you have warm milk, that's different. But since I'm adding my milk cold, I have to add it slowly, so that it doesn't cause it to just congeal. And just mix it the entire time. You're slowly adding milk. Add about, like, I don't know, 3 cups if you want that. About 3 cups works. It's much more than plenty for this recipe. If you want to add it all at once, which would be easier, stick it in the microwave for like 30 seconds to a minute and finger test. If it feels warm to the finger, then that's awesome. If you burn your finger, don't, but that means you put it in for too long. I'm going to turn the heat up on this so that the milk gets hot really quick. It's about 3 cups right there. So now that's going to warm up, and when it is warmed up, we will add our cheese to it. So I'll be back. Alright, so something you really need to watch out for when you're doing this. Milk will burn to the bottom really easily, so you have to make sure it doesn't by mixing it pretty much constantly and scraping the bottom so that even if something does stick to the bottom or start to burn, it comes up and it doesn't stay burned the entire time. So as you can see, steam is starting to come up. I'm going to give this a quick whiff. Smells good. So now we're going to add our cheese. With this, it's the same idea as the milk. Add slowly, and about 3 cups as well, shredded. So we're just, when I say slowly, I really mean add it slowly, because if you add it all at once, it will congeal together and become very, very grainy and gross. So add a bit, make sure it's nice and melted down. Come back over here, look at this. I can tell these are not quite al dente. Al dente is, it pretty much means when, how it feels on the teeth. If it has give, just a little bit of give, but still feels firm, that is the perfect doneness for pasta. I'm gonna add some more cheese. Break that up, mix it in. La-di-da-di, everybody. So, keep doing this until all of the cheese is in. You can add as much cheese as you want it, really. It all depends on how cheesy you want your mac and cheese and how thick you want your sauce. The roux, which is the butter and flour thing I was doing earlier, that technically is what thickens your sauce. Because as that cooks in whatever you're cooking it in, it thickens it up. But the cheese will also do that. If you add too much cheese and it cools down, it'll just congeal together and become a solid block again. So, I mean, if that's what you like, that's what you like. Personally, not so much. That would be a lot of cheese. This is doing perfectly. This is getting nice and thick. Look at those bubbles. Awesome. I'm actually going to turn this back down because it's on high. Turn this back down to medium. And add more cheese. I'm just going to keep doing this the entire time. Because, like I said, especially with pre-shredded cheese like I have, they use a potato starch, I believe, to make the cheese not stick together. So if you throw it all in at the same time, that and the cheese and everything, it all just gets super, super grainy and has a bad mouthfeel, and you don't want that. So I'm just going to dump the rest of my cheese in there. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, look at that cheese sauce. Now the thing is, you're going to want to taste this, because if it's not cheesy enough, you're going to want to add more cheese, right? Or you could just add a whole freaking bag of cheese, or a whole block of shredded, block and a half too, whatever, and just be like, okay, yep, that's cheesy enough, but I want to make sure I'm not getting it too much. Now, mind you, the milk should be whole milk that you use. I'm using skim milk, it's just making this a little bit more difficult. Alright, now I think it's cheesy enough. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add salt. I like pink Himalayan sea salt. Well, honestly, I don't know if it's sea salt, but it's pink salt. And it's yummy. Like, I could eat a crystal of it by itself. It has a good flavor. Salt is a flavor enhancer, which is why we add it to foods. It makes things taste more like itself until you add too much salt. So a bit of salt, bit of pepper, fresh ground. You should use white pepper so that you don't like see the little bits of pepper inside your macaroni, but I don't have white pepper, so we're gonna go with black. And black's not bad. Mix that on in and let it stew for a bit. Let the flavor just seep. Check on your pasta. Look at that. You see how light that is now? If you go back to the beginning of the video, the pasta was really, really dark. So now, I'm going to take one, and that is al dente. You throw it in your colander and call it a day. So, we're going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing. And I like to add just a little bit of garlic powder to my mac and cheese sauce. Good flavors. Oh yeah. I can feel my arm being totally burned from that. Alright, so now I'm going to taste this again. It smells better already. That is much better. Now, I lied. We're not just going to leave the macaroni in the colander and call it a day. We're going to grab that whole thing. Here's the pot. There's a little bit of macaroni in it. That's fine. Shake your colander so that all the water comes out, because as you know, macaroni, or if you don't know, macaroni is an elbow noodle that has a hole in it, and that will trap water, which can make your cheese sauce thin out. Alright, now that it's nice and shaken out, don't forget to turn off the other stove eye. We're going to put this back in here. La -da -da, la -da -da -da. Like so. Colander in the sink so that you're cleaning up your mess as you go. Give the cheese sauce one last mix and just dump that in there. Oh yeah. I have a little too much cheese sauce for my macaroni. But that's fine, because my wife and I like it cheesy. See? Set this aside for licking. Now just fold it into the noodles. Just like that. Oh yeah, that is a super cheesy mac and cheese. This looks like Stouffer's. Oh my goodness. So good. Take your buffalo chicken that you've been having sit on the sidelines, covered in buffalo sauce. I already did that, by the way. Add that to it, and again, just fold it in. Like so. You know what we haven't done this entire time? Let's see. I've been recording for 15, this says 15, almost 16 minutes. So I have a section before this, it's like 4 minutes, I think. It's been about 20 minutes for the Brussels sprouts. I gotta check on those. So that is all done. That's gonna go up there. Oh look, a plastic bowl that's going to melt. Because I'm an idiot. Let me check on the Brussels sprouts. I will allow you guys to check on them as well. 1 second. Give those a roll. Now, you're going to see a nice little color on them like that. That looks amazing. They are not quite done yet, though. They need more time. Honestly, what I should have done was cut them in half before doing this. That way everything in the middle gets nice and crispy. And yeah, like I said, set this aside for licking. Oh yeah. That's a delicious cheese sauce. Alright, I will see you guys in a minute when the Brussels sprouts are done. See you then. Remember when I said that it can burn to the bottom? Yeah, especially, super especially, after it has the cheese in it. So, that's going to take some scrubbing and some soaking and might take, honestly, a couple of days to get out. So, be warned. Another thing, if you haven't already, drink some water. You're in a hot kitchen over a hot stove making hot food. Drink water, otherwise you might pass out. And we don't want that. You don't want that. You want to be able to eat your food afterward. This is just a PSA. Da-da. Another PSA that I need to put in every single video. Clean up as you cook so that you don't have as much to do later. Also, you won't have a super crowded area where you're just like, oh gosh, I gotta do this over here. And then, there's no space for me to put it somewhere. You're sitting here and there's pot, and they're all dirty. And you're just like, it's hot! That'll suck. Food dies because it goes on the floor. And you gotta hold a funeral for it by eating it. So yeah. Clean up. Okay, so my Brussels sprouts are done. Nice and hot. Nice and golden in color on some of them. It's a nice crisp. I love it. Ooh, I love this. I love it when this happens. A little leaf comes off. It's like a chip. It's so good. So yeah, next I'm going to plate it up. I'm going to plate it up on these super cheap plastic dishes. Whatever. That's fine by me. I don't really care because I don't have anything fancy that will keep these things separated. You do not want them to be, you know, touching. Well, my wife's picky and she doesn't like it when food like this touches her macaroni and cheese. Oh, what's that? Whoops. Anyway, so she hates it when her Brussels sprouts touch anything on her plate, pretty much. So what I'm going to do is just Brussels sprouts, mac and cheese. Wonderful. Yeah, I hope you guys have a good time. Or had a good time. And if you make this, I hope you enjoy. I'm going to sign off. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, show other people, and have yourself a good day. Ciao.